Okay, so we're going to start with a piece of cardboard as a pattern. You're going to draw a line from the top to the bottom. This is like the profile or the side shape that you want the pot to have. Okay, so it's kind of up to you. So you can kind of think about, what do you want this to look like? You can change it. You don't have to stick with the idea. You do want to make sure that whatever you draw let me draw with an orange one. The rim should not go out past the body of the pot. And so if I draw myself a line here, if I have this go out further than the pot or the base down here, it's going to look really funny. Okay. It's also going to be pretty top heavy. Okay. And it could get knocked over. Okay. So I'm kind of looking at this. I'm drawing with a marker, so I can't really erase. So you're going to see all of my lines on here. But let's can you kind of see that one? That's probably what I'm going to do, and I'll cut this out and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to use a pair of scissors. Remember, back here is the strongest. You've got the most leverage, and so you can cut a piece of cardboard with that if you use the back of it. Okay, and you can go back to the top and cut back down. Okay, it's good to get this all in one piece. Okay, so then you can use this for your pot to help with the shape of it. Okay, and so after this, we're going to grab a piece of printer paper, and use this to look and see what this pot actually is going to look like. This is the piece we're keeping. Okay, if you look at it, we are keeping the trash, the outside, the negative space. Okay, we're keeping this part. So I am going to write top on this, and I'm going to flip it over and write top on this, because this is the way that it should be held. This should be the top. And it's very easy to come in here and to get started and to get in just the groove of putting coils on and smoothing them out, and then realize that you've held it the wrong way. Okay, and then you've totally messed things up. Okay, so I'm going to write top on both of those sides. I'm also going to flatten this piece right here, because this is going to be the slab that is going to sit against that. Okay, I need all eyes up here, guys. We need to put everything down and turn and look. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this and trace this side, and that's the shape of the pot that I have. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. And so if I put this piece next to it on the other side, like I flipped it, I traced here, now I flip it over, this is what it's going to look like. And you can kind of think about, do I like what this looks like? Should it be bigger or smaller? There are lots of these patterns that we use throughout the quarter that are just circles. And so if you measure these, like this one is like 2 3/4, and this one is 3 1/4. Okay, so if I made this, if I trace this green one and I do 3 1/4 at the bottom, okay, then I'm going to end up with something that looks like this. Okay, so that would be the ending shape of what this would be. Okay, now to some people they might be, oh gosh, that's too big. The nice thing is you can adjust this and think about it. So this is 2 3/4 before you even do anything. Okay, so I'm going to put this one here and trace. And so this is what it would look like if I made this just a little bit smaller. Okay, because this is being held up on the outside of the pot, and as you make the coils, it's going to line up with the side. Okay, so this is a pattern that you're making. You might have something that looks, this is like the one that I did last hour, where if you have something that's pretty small, you might need to, I mean, this pot looks really different. Look, this is 3 3/4 for this one. If I were to cut this out, and gosh, that's huge. Okay, and you might not want something that big. So it's better to go ahead and shrink this in and figure out where would I rather this be. You have to control the size of the base to control what outcome you're going to get. So you have to do this from the very, very beginning, okay, and picking what you want. There are, if you needed to make something or make your own circles, you could take one of these and make a circle that is smaller and that you would be able to trace to use for this. Okay, but that's kind of where we're headed, is we need to figure out what shape you want this to be. How big does the base need to be, okay? And then you need to make sure that you're keeping the right piece and labeling the right piece, okay? Because these can be all different ways or can look all different ways. This was one that someone did last, Friday. And so they put this on their paper. Let's look at this one. Let me scoot this up. And she was like, oh gosh, this is just too curvy. Like, there's too much there. And so I ended up cutting her a new piece of paper or a new piece of cardboard, but she was able to look at it and already decide, nope, I don't want it to look like this. I would rather this part to come out and this part to come in. And so she had a better idea. I mean, she really moved every line, one in, or out, one in, and one back out to get something closer to what she wanted. Okay, so this is where we're going to start, at least for right now, is to get a pattern, figure out the base shape, and then I'm going to show you how to build the coils next.